Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Stock Talk with Andrew and Austin. How you doing, Austin?
Doing great. Had a nice weekend, Andrew. How about yourself?
All is well. Can't complain. It's a bit of a bloodbath out there today. Markets are a little beat up, although some of our stocks are doing just fine. Certainly, gold and silver has taken a beating with prices dropping significantly there the last couple of days. But this probably off of news is not changing rates. I mean, that's usually the go-to, kind of marketing term that people will use. I still have strong belief in both gold and silver moving forward, and this pullback is a million different reasons could be affecting that pullback, but we can't diminish it. It's happened, but I think long term we're still looking fine. Just something obvious out there in the market to look at, and we've talked about before. Summers tend to be a little bit lazier, and there's certainly a lot of negative out there, but we don't like to focus on the negative as much, other than to highlight overall there's enough fear and uncertainty out there with so many things, but we feel strong in our market model mindset and what we are focused on. And it's paying off still. So we're quite confident, although today is a tougher day. It's all part and parcel of the markets.
It's all part of the ride. It leads into an interesting conversation that I know we've touched on before. But it's interesting to see and note that when Bitcoin and crypto starts to do well, sometimes gold and silver hurt a little bit when that happens. And then vice versa, when crypto's kind of tanking, you start to see gold and silver doing really well. So it kind of fits into that interesting pattern. I know we've talked about them being complementary, but the market doesn't necessarily always respond that way. And that just shows it's interesting times out there, and there's competing narratives going on all the time. You got to stay right on top of it to find the best opportunities.
Yes, and it is, and you've put it well, is such strong narratives. Nowadays, more than ever, every aspect of our life has become political. And that's really frustrating and annoying, but it's just a simple fact of life. And, we see this push with, the crowd that would be interested in gold and silver tend to be interested in crypto because of the entire fiat debacle, the extraordinary printing of money. So if you're a fundamental type of person, if you like to look at economic data, if you like to look at strong foundation of things, doesn't look very strong out there. I mean, you can't print money and just make it up with your magic money tree. But
I wish I could.
That being said, they're doing it, and somehow it's supposed to work. But it's, if you've got the engine of marketing behind you, that's how fiat currency works. That's how democracy works. I mean, it's just a matter of influencing the right people and them getting the message out, and then whether people believe you or not. And that's how, unfortunately, markets work to some degree. It's not a great strategy. It doesn't work long term, and it's contrary to someone like a Warren Buffett, who would say, I don't want to look at the marketing of something. I want to look to see what the intrinsic value is, what's the foundational value of something, and build from there. And that's where we feel very strong with the companies that we have, is that they might trade up and down at any given day. And I don't look at things on a short-term basis in any way, shape, or form. And when I say short-term, like months, given any day, I don't, unless there's like a drastic news, to me, it's not relevant, because I've got faith in the management, the teams, the projects, and until something foundationally changes in a company, the price might be an indication of what's happening, or it may not. Sometimes it's, as Warren Buffett would say, you look for markets that are not working efficiently and that are ignored or forgotten, but that have intrinsic value. And of course, the mining sector is that one in a huge way. Yeah. Although it is a fraction of the overall markets, it is a foundational one, and especially if you're interested in any of the green, environmental changes or the shift in energy. It's just a reminder to people that you're talking about mining now. So I think more and more people are coming along with that. Today would not be a good price indication of that. But if you're only hearing this message for the first time, then yeah, there's some great stories that you should be looking at, including Prime Mining, which we're hoping to have Mr. Andrew Bowering back on the show again soon. They've got some great news out, and they keep on developing their story. The stock was pulled back a little bit, so I'll be upfront. I mean, I bought some more today. I'm a big fan of the whole team, the project. And I think if we were in a real mining sector boom, that stock would be taking off, and it's in tightly held hands of very smart people. And it's one that we feel confident and comfortable in talking about.
It's one that it feels, if it's your first kind of step into the junior markets, or you're early on in this process, it feels like a safe one to get involved with when you look at that management team and what those guys have done before. Andrew Bowering obviously is a titan of the industry, and everything that they're doing over there, really, it indicates a safer play in an industry that can be speculative at sometimes, that can be a little high risk, but that's what makes it fun as well. So.
Yes, and they've got a lot of data, and they're building out their project. So this is great. They've got their new zone that they've found, and they're building out and expanding. So that's what you want to see from a company, is some good solid results, and then expand it to see what kind of scope can we get. So Prime, it's great. We don't work with them in any way, shape, or form. So I'm just putting it out there because I do like the company, and it's been doing some wonderful things. Another one to mention is Lakewood Exploration, which we're big fans of, and I'm buying more of that as well. That they've had some great high grade surface samples as well in their zone. We're hoping to see some news. I mean, there's so many of these. We'll have news soon, and that's what's exciting is that this one is your silver play. This is going to be your pure silver play. We're really interested in this model. It's very exciting. They have this video here we're showing. It's such a clear and easy to understand model for people. And like Goliath, that's what people need to see, especially if they're generalists and they're new, is to see, okay, what are we looking for? How are we going to do this? What's it look like? And then, especially with this project, Lakewood, there's a ton of data. So this isn't just speculation. There's a ton of data that they've built out already from past programs to build out this strategy and this thesis that they're working on. And we're very interested and excited to pursue this, as well as to see where this goes. So hopefully we're going to have Morgan Lekstrom on to chat with us as well, to give us any other updates that we can talk about. And of course, I'm sure there'll be news coming out from them as well. So great story. And that kind of segues in, since we kind of mentioned it as well, as Goliath. A big pullback in the last 2 days with Goliath. But you know what? People take money off the table. That's just how it goes. There's been no news that's in any way, shape, form negative. In fact, they've been putting out almost weekly updates. And then, of course, Crescat Capital has been commenting on them, which has been really excellent. And certainly Quinton Henning is someone that can comment on what they see and what the data is showing. And that's what has given the stock a very big push, for sure. And this is one that obviously we like a lot. I like to kind of remind people, don't work with them, don't have any contract with them. I do own a lot, so I've got into the deal. I did their first round of financing back then. Excuse me. So yeah, this one again, it's very easy to understand what they're going for, and what they're seeing is exciting, and it's looking excellent. And we'll actually, if you reach out to me, send me an email, I'll send you the clip where Quinton is talking about what it means from his perspective, which is a lot better than mine. I'm not a geo. I don't have the background that Dr. Henning has. So he's someone that can speak to this, and that gives it a lot more veracity than someone like myself. And that has helped the story along a huge way, to have him as a technical advisor and Crescat Capital in the deal. But what we're really waiting for, and the anticipation is, okay, we're seeing this. You shot it with the gun, and that gives you an indication of some numbers. Yeah. But what are the actual assays? So that's the nerve-wracking part. You're getting lots of good indications And now it's the part of the ride where you go, one of those results coming back. I don't think they're coming back anytime soon, like in the next couple of weeks. I could be wrong. And not from any fault of anyone's, other than there's so many mining programs going on. There's so many companies that want assays done. I think the backlog is huge. So
that's an important thing to note. That we're hearing that from every mining company that we talk to, is that the assay labs are totally backed up, that they feel like they're a few weeks behind on when they were projected. And that's right across the board. I mean, you had projects that were kind of sitting around throughout the COVID period, not doing anything, kind of waiting for a time to get back into it. And especially in Canada, we've only started to see things really opening up again this summer. So a lot of projects only getting back up and running recently, only getting those assay labs starting to turn out results. So everyone's a little backed up, everyone's a little delayed, but I'd expect to start seeing a lot of results coming late August and early September.
Yes, and I think you want to you talked a little bit about Secure and QU on Friday, and we apologize again for the technical difficulties. That's why we're kind of recapping some of this for everyone. But yeah, maybe you can just give us a quick rundown on that again.
Yeah, it's amazing. We take a week off and then we have technical difficulties in the first show back. Classic. Who would have thought? I mean, people, I don't think anyone needs to be reminded how big of a fan I am of both Secure and QU Media. They're two of my favorite picks for the year, for the next couple of years, honestly, with the trajectory that they're on. But I'll just highlight quickly again what I've recapped on Friday with QU. It really encouraging. I think they're on an 8. This could be, if they do it this week, correct me if I'm wrong, it'll be a 9-week run of consistently setting higher numbers for their viewership. They're in over 150 million households in India. Their channel is being broadcast right across. They're developing new shows, new content to push out. The Chatterbox acquisition last month has expanded their network of influencers that they're able to work with. It's expanded their reach right across India. And it's really exciting times. I know I touched on the fact that Kurt and his team were down in India the last couple of weeks, kind of finalizing their next 12 months and what those plans look like. So we'll be really excited to hear from Kurt, hopefully sometime in the next few weeks, what things are going to look like, what their attack strategy is over the next 12 months, and then really paying attention to the Q3 revenue results. And what are those going to look like now that we've got some serious ad revenue that should be on the table based off these viewership ratings that they're getting. Super excited for that to come. And I think that's when you can see, so hopefully some movement on the actual share price end as well would be encouraging at that point.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that once they see the actual numbers, they had the forecast, but once you have the actual numbers in, I think that's going to start really turning the ship into a very, very good positive direction. Two things. One, Desert Mountain Energy, I just want to point out it's having a great day. It's up, I think, almost 4.5% just today alone. And just something that people sometimes miss with it is that there was one line back in July, and we like to highlight this, is that the company is also pleased to announce it has been assigned a direct payee number by the U.S. government to enable immediate same-day payment for gas shipped. So that is a big deal. Yeah. That's a big deal that I like to remind people of, because the part of the whole, I've got a report on helium that we did about a year ago, in that we talk about the government getting out of the helium business, which opened up this big push for helium and for the private markets to take it, and of course then Desert Mountain Energy taking off with their 4 wells that look outstanding. We're going to have more data on that soon. So this is a very strong indicator, never mind the companies that are in Arizona. And that makes a big difference, because shipping helium is a big cost, an issue. And they're not going to do any offtake agreements, which means they're not giving a shipper the profits of this. They're going to do it themselves. And once again, they've been working on this for a long time. They have a very big vision. And it's really excellent to see it rolling out. And we're obviously very optimistic with this stock. Robert had said before that January we're going to be looking at production. COVID did push things back a lot, so a bit of a pushback, but really in the scheme of things, not really. The stock has done amazingly, and we see a huge upside still in it. So love Desert Mountain. I don't make any any qualms about that. I'm pretty open about it. The one that I'm also very open about is GMG, graphene.
Yes.
We had a video out just 10 days ago. The stock has taken off again. It's on a bit of a run. It's up at 250 again, 39 cents today alone. So they're just plodding along at a pace that's extremely impressive. Their in-house battery pilot plant, that just speaks volumes. Craig Nickel was on talking to me about that, what that looks like, what that means, and we touched on it briefly on Friday as well. And I just like to remind people, this battery technology they have is significant. This is the equivalent, if you are a mining type fan, this is the equivalent of they got all the assays back and they came back looking outstanding. So
Yes.
they've got the evidence, they've got the data, and now they're doing the in-house plant. This shows a huge trajectory of possible growth. So, you know, I have high expectations on this. Now, of course, anything can happen, but once again, this is a management team that has a lot of success, a lot of background, and you know, there's a lot of people looking and watching this story. And I think you know, the battery space is massive. You know, even if you have a correction out there in green and in energy, and listen, long term, these guys are onto something with these batteries. And we're talking, once again, just a quick reminder, the smaller type batteries right now. We're not talking about big car batteries, electric vehicles, or anything like that. We're talking about more of the Internet of Things in your watches, your phones, things like that. So it's more smaller sensor type technology. You'd be shocked and surprised if you spend a bit of time to look at how much is out there. And moving forward, as we talk about things like geospatial mapping, the spatial web, we talk about any of these Internet of Things technologies that are coming, the amount of batteries and sensors they need is huge. So that's just one product. I mean, you know, you see on screen here too, they have their energy saving solutions with lubricants and coolants. Yeah. Let's just leave that aside for now. The battery story in and of itself is huge and massive. So just wanted to give a bit of a shout out for that. Lots of other good things going on. We hinted that we're talking to a bunch of different companies doing really cool stuff. So let's see if we're working on board on that or not. But it was slow there for a while, you know, for us for a couple of weeks. We're back. We're going to do all these live shows again. We're back storming forward. Get people excited because September, October, things are going to heat up again in one way, and there's going to be lots of other things happening as well. So it's going to be a very interesting time. And if you place your money smartly and you adhere to your model, you're going to be rewarded.
Yeah, and one quick note on the GMG story as well. It's interesting with those batteries, just to put it into context for people. And I know I touched on this on Friday when we chatted as well, but it's important to note those aluminum ion batteries that they're working with can charge up to 60 times faster than a lithium ion battery. They last up to 3 times as long, and they deliver more power, don't need to be cooled, and are easier to recycle. It just hits every nail on the head if you need it. Like, it's an incredible story. And like you said, that's just one product that they're working on. There's so much innovation. I know they've partnered with Queensland University down in Australia to do some of their projects. It's a great innovation story, a great story going forward. One of your top picks, one of my top picks. Yeah. Really excited.
Yeah, they already proved it. So this isn't like a hey, we're working on something and it looks good. No, we've already proved it out. And now they're proving out the model for large scale development of it. So this is pretty cool. And I think that's the stock is reflected in that it took off very quickly. It came down a little bit, but I think when that video came out, people were reminded of what are we talking about here. And it's tough because, listen, there's a ton of great stock out there. There's a ton of great stories out there. I don't pretend to have all of them, but all that people need is just a little reminder again to go, wait, what are they up to again? And like, you know, Prime, Desert Mountain Energy, GMG, even Lakewood. These are serious, real companies with great teams. And you know, hey, we're lucky to be involved with them and fortunate to be involved with them. And I'm glad to let people know what's happening, to remind them what's the big picture here.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's important to note we were talking about how things are really going to start ramping up as we get into the fall here. Make sure you guys are like and subscribe to our videos. Make sure you're subscribed to the website. We're on social media now. We're on TikTok, for God's sake.
Yeah, we are.
Our beautiful faces are going to be plastered all over TikTok. So, you know, whatever form of social media you like the most, we do Twitter, we do LinkedIn, we do the TikTok, we do Instagram. get on there, follow us. We're going to be turning out tons of interesting stories. There's some incredible companies that Andrew and I have been talking to over the last couple of months that we should be getting coming out in the next few months as well. Plus all the ones that we love. We're expecting more results, more news coming out about them. So it's a really, really exciting time to join the charge, to get excited. Make sure you're subscribed, especially to the website. If you're signed up to the website right now, you're going to get a copy of the July newsletter emailed right to you when you sign up. It's got a list of all our top picks. You can take that as a cheat sheet. You want to throw some money in the account and start just typing in stock. Okay, buy 100 shares of that, buy 500 shares of that. It's a great little cheat sheet. I know I sat down when we finished it off, did the exact same thing. But make sure you guys are subscribed. Make sure you guys are engaging with us as well. We love to hear from you, whether it's emailing us directly, getting into the comments. It's a really exciting time. We're super pumped up about what the next couple months are going to look like for Supercharged Stocks and for all the companies that we know and love.
Yeah, well, thank you, Austin. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, make sure you share, post it, share it with your friends. It helps us. It helps the algorithm as well. And once again, the more we get this out to these real companies, these real projects, it helps the company, it helps us, helps you, creates a market. So great. Thank you, Austin, for today. Let's have a great week, everyone. And we look forward to talking with you.
My pleasure, Andrew. We'll chat to you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.